That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Shithouse. It's the directorial debut of Cooper Raiff, and it notably won the Grand Jury Prize at the 2020 South by Southwest Film Festival. Of course, as you know, that physical fest was canceled due to COVID-19. However, the jury that was selected awarded this title, this distinction. It will be released October 16, 2020, courtesy of IFC Films.
What prize did it win? Jury prize?
The Grand Jury, the top prize.
Like the best movie of the festival?
Of the competition.
Of the competition. I think it's well deserved.
Yeah,
But I didn't see anything else, so I don't know.
The only other film in the competition from that I just watched, Really Love, which was also pretty good, and that won the top acting prizes.
Well, I did think this film was lovely, especially for a directorial debut.
Yeah, it's a star and have written and directed it. Yeah, it is impressive.
So the film revolves around Alex, who's played by Cooper, the writer-director. Okay, so it's his first year in college. He's gone off to school. He has a really lovely relationship with his mother and his sister. His father has long since passed. We find him on a day where he is going to a party with his roommate. Not with, but like his roommate is in attendance. Goes to the party, comes home, and his roommate is super drunk, like annihilated. Ends up shitting on himself. The reason the film's called Shithouse is not that. It's called Shithouse because that initial party, that's like the name, is that the house is called the Shithouse. But his roommate shits on himself, so he cannot sleep in the dorm room. So he goes into like the communal area, and that's where he meets his RA, who's played by...
Gelula.
And I know her as Xantippe from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yes.
So...
She's also in Horse Girl, which was a film you liked.
I recall liking that film. I don't recall her.
Okay.
But the lady in Horse Girl is married to who? She has a famous husband.
Alison Brie is married to Dave Franco.
That's right. Anyway, so prior to Alex and Xantippe meeting, we saw her in the party hooking up with some guy. And it was a very poor sexual experience. Like, he ejaculated before she could even get his pants off. So she wasn't satisfied. When she sees Alex in the communal area, she sorts of like talks to him and then invites him back to her room for essentially for sex. He goes... Which
is an interesting exchange.
It's an interesting exchange.
He's like, do you know my name?
No, I don't know your name.
And she's like, do you know mine? And yeah, Maggie Hill.
Yeah. They go back to her room, and it's obvious that he's not completely comfortable, but he's there. After a couple of glasses of wine, they start making out.
Well, they go out, I think, before the sexual experience happens.
Where do they go?
Well, that's how they meet the softball players. That's what they go to. They go out. I think this is when you went to the bathroom, but her turtle had died that day, and they go. She had just thrown it in the dumpster, which she's kind of horrified by. So they go dig the turtle corpse out of the dumpster, and they're on a journey to bury the turtle.
No, because when they're having sex and he goes, "How are you doing?" She goes, "Well, my turtle died." And he says, "I'm sorry." So he didn't know her turtle died. Anyway, they're about to have sex.
I believe they come back to the room later after they go back and then...
Well, that's a good story too. We can go with that. Okay. I don't know the truth.
Okay.
They try to have sex, but he is unable to perform because he's really not having the connection he needs with her.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, for once. Okay. You made me...
Sorry, you're right, because then during the softball incident, he hits her by accident pitching, and then she asks him if that was his first sexual experience at college.
Yes.
There you go.
So, they have a poor sexual experience, and so we would assume he tries to like get dressed really quickly and leave, but she says, "No, stay. Like, let's hang out, let's finish this bottle of wine we opened and talk, because I'm not tired yet." So they do, and they have a lovely night of just, communicating. So the next morning, he blows up her DMs on Instagram. She doesn't respond. He's freaking out. He tells his roommate, who he doesn't like, and the roommate's kind of being a dick to him, like, "Get over it, like, stop talking about her. We're going to go to another party tonight. We have to buy a wig to go to this party, so let's go to buy a wig." And when they're wig shopping, they bump into Xantippe and
Maggie.
and she pretends like she doesn't even know who he is. So obviously he's hurt. They crash this party, the wig party.
The basketball house.
Which is at the basketball house. And Alex decides he's going to have a good time. He's going to let loose. He's going to be fun and dance. And people are into it and he's having fun. Maggie is there. She sees him and she's kind of into it. She brings him a drink, says hi. So he's feeling good. However, there's an incident where the people who host the party realize that he crashed it and they chase him out. So there's a scene where he's running from that, but then he decides to come back to the party. And he ends up like running into a room where Maggie has once again just finished having sex with someone. So he's upset by that, saying like, "Well, like what's wrong with you? Like you're not a nice person. Like you don't want to communicate. I had a good time with you. Why won't you talk to me?" She basically tells him like, "You're acting like a child."
I had a good time last night, and now I'm looking for another one.
Right. So same. But they have that exchange.
Which they're interrupted because the young man whose room that is interrupts them.
Right.
And then they have to continue having it outside, which is actually one of the best scenes of the film.
Yes.
I think.
So the next day or so, he is in like the school cafeteria, and he's invited to sit with some people he had met at the first party he went to. So he decides to do that, which is like not really his normal behavior, and that. And then the next day says, like, he calls his mom and sister and has like, I think this is the best scene of the film actually, where he calls his mom and sister and basically has a breakdown and says like, college is hard. I'm not killing it. Like I have zero friends. The friends I've told you about were made up. My only friend is my stuffed animal. I hate my roommate. Blah, 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 blah. So, of course, his mom and sister are distraught. Like, come home. It's okay. Like, we're here for you. But he says, no. I met some friends yesterday, and I realized that, like, what's been holding me back is, like, me. Like, I haven't been present. Like, all I needed to do was, like, sit down with people in the cafeteria, and I made a connection. So he's saying, like, I want to try. And he does. 2.5. So then it jumps forward 2.5 years. And he's still connecting with those friends. They're having a good time. We see him playing basketball with his roommate, so it appears that they have developed a relationship. We also see him attend a theater performance of Maggie's, and it's pointed out that he attended the previous year's performance. So he's still following this bitch, and she, after the performance, like they meet up.
They're studying for fun.
Because they go to the library and study, but he pretends to study to be with her. And she's asking him, like, what are you going to do? Like, in the summer, are you going to go here, there, stay here? And he's like, I don't know. She says, if I said I wanted to, like, be your girlfriend, would you stay? And he says, well, if I'm going to do that, you need to do these things. So he, like, communicates his needs. The end.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
It reminded me very much of my first semester as an undergrad.
So you had a very traditional college experience because you went off to college,
to a liberal arts school. Yeah,
to a liberal arts school
for one semester with a roommate I couldn't stand, and yeah, reminding me of that awful lost feeling you have, and then the friends you kind of collect in that pressure cooker environment.
I think this story is well done because I went to college, but I didn't have that experience. Like I lived off campus and worked 3 part-time jobs, so I didn't have time to really think about anything except finishing. But in spite of that, I still related to
Oh, sure. I mean,
feeling like that age and feeling lost and not having friends, and then the realization that it's my fault. Like I don't have friends because I don't try. It was very effective.
I think, well, and this isn't totally my experience because these are straight people.
Sure.
But it very much reminded me of like the couplings that I saw, because all of my friends were heterosexual then. And I would go off to gay clubs and said, the party scene, that like it was frustrating to watch them have to like crash these dummy parties that people are having at these houses. And even the name of the Shithouse, like we had all these silly house, the robot house, and I lived in the Blue Marlin, like the dumb things people get up to. But it felt very authentic and not like it was making fun of any of its subjects.
No.
And obviously changing the traditional gender roles of this heterosexual dynamic.
Yeah, I really liked the character of Alex. He's a sweet, sensitive soul.
Yes, well, the two great scenes are the one you mentioned, and also his blowout with Maggie. And I really liked how he pointed out to her that, and it's a barb. He says that he was raised correctly because his parents taught him loved him and taught him to emote, and not that he had to go out and have sex with all these people. Not to slut shame. There's really nothing wrong with that behavior. It's just, why are you engaged in it? Why is that the necessity? It's just a lot of interesting things, very objectively to unpack.
Go finish your little notes.
No, I didn't have many. It just what reminded me of the Bush years for me. His having to reintegrate himself into the party was very Valley Girl to me. Nicolas Cage had to do that to get at Deborah, what's her name?
So I would give this film 3.5 out of 5 stars. The reason I don't give it 4 is, because I'm more than twice the age of these characters and I didn't have that same experience. Some of the things felt a little off to me, and I don't know if that's just because I'm old and, I don't know how kids are talking. But some of it didn't connect. But
Sure.
I think at the core, the character of Alex and his journey was very moving and effective, and I would recommend this film. What would you give it?
I'd give it 3.5 out of 5 as well. I liked his connection with his mom, played by Amy Landecker, who we just saw in Project Power.
I don't recall that.
She's in the Coen Brothers movie A Serious Man. She was also a prominent figure in the Transparent series.
Okay.
And then Logan Miller, who played the roommate, you enjoyed We Summon in the Darkness. He's part of that ensemble.
Oh, he's a cute little guy.
It reminded me very much of lots of behaviors from then. Yes, I thought it was enjoyable.
Are you done? All right, bye.
Bye.